Welcome to round 3 of the Cash Tournament of February in Orlando, Florida. Again, you can find out when the next monthly Cash Tournament is going to be by checking out the Spoils Florida Facebook group. We'd love to have more people from the surrounding area come out if you're in Central Florida. Also, for March, there's MegaCon going on in Orlando, Florida. Anybody that's traveling down for that, Spoils will have a booth there, and we'll be holding a tournament there. So anybody that's in the region, we would love to have a big group come out to have a big tournament, because bigger tournaments are always fun instead of playing with the same 8 to 10 people every week. It's always nice to see new faces, new deck ideas. Part of the reason why they decided to start making some videos, just so there's more content online and people can start just seeing some decks and stuff that people are playing, what people are doing, like outside of their local store. So for this round, I'm on the left again, playing my Gearsmith Arcanist Warlord combo deck, and my opponent is playing a Gearsmith Rage deck. Unlike the last opponent who just splashed 1 Rage for Dark Awakenings and things, this deck is actually splashing 2 Elitism. Again, I'm not sure what all the deck has that he's splashing Elitism for. I only see 1 or 2 Elitism cards. So it's mostly a Rage slide deck from what I was able to tell. Just so he plays just the quick like Gideons and Adriels and stuff like that. So I'm not sure what the Elitism is in there for exactly. However, he won the roll, so he's going first. He's choosing to mulligan 2. My hand I was not a big fan of, so I'm actually going to mulligan 7 of them and hope for the best. So I do remember though that once I do mulligan these 7 cards, I was still not happy with my opening hand. Like, man, I want a second mulligan, because this is still not great. But you make it work like you always have to, so it's alright. So on his starter turn, he plays a Rage. Okay, there we go. He played the Rage. I thought he played a little faster. Alright, and then he plays the Crest of Rage. Again, Crest of Rage. It provides 2 Rage threshold, and if a card that with Rage enters play into your control, you can search your deck for a character and put it on top, which is very awesome. It's one of the more played Crest, just because being able to search up any character is pretty handy. On my turn, I played a Violence, lost an Influence, went to 24, passed it back. He just drew a card, and then on his turn he played a Gideon, which is never a good time. Gideon is cost 1, he's a 2/3/3. When he's attacking, you reduce all damage dealt to him to 0, and his second ability is also very, very great. Anytime your opponent would lose Influence, you increase that amount by 1. So on my turn, I play a Neurosis, and normally I would only lose 1 Influence, but because of Gideon, I actually lose 2, and that's what puts me down to 22 Influence. So his turn, he just plays another Resource, I believe. Yeah, there he goes. And he's thinking about something. So he attacks me for 2. So I have no blocker, so I'll actually take the 2 damage. The damage converts to Influence lost, and Gideon increases by 1, so I actually lose 3 Influence to go to 19. So I'm just commenting that, man, Gideon he's too good. He's super fast. So at the end of the turn, I choose to pay 4 to play a resource, and then start a turn. I play a resource. We kind of shortcut it there, like I didn't actually attach to show him, so like this is what I'm doing. Said okay. My turn is very fast. I said I'm digging for things. I'm trying to make my hand work. So I just pay 3 draw, get 2 cards. I need stuff. I remember that it was very light on characters. I do think I had like the defalcating machine, like one of the combo pieces in there. But I didn't have, any of the other stuff I really needed. No, I think I might have had a Micromajig Master as well, which is also very beneficial to the combo, but again, I didn't want to just throw it out there and just get it killed immediately, so I just draw cards. I take 3. He attacks me again. I don't block Gideon, so I end up losing 3 more influence. Go to 16. My turn, I pay 3 draw, and I top decked into that Deadly Striker. So I'm like, fantastic, I got a blocker. So, play my Deadly Striker. Again, Deadly Striker is 4/2/3. When he's destroyed, your opponent loses 4 influence. And again, if you're playing the Rage deck and you have a Gideon out, your opponent actually loses 5 influence from that. So Gideon is an all-around great card. He's also one of the more expensive cards in the set. I think he runs around $25. So Spoils isn't too expensive to get into unless you're playing like the Rage Slide, because Rage Slide does have some of the more expensive cards like Gideon, and also there's another card, Dark Awakening, that's used in so many decks. That one is also rather expensive. I want to say it's like a $20 card. So, Spoils is still slightly cheaper than most other card games, but they still do have some cards that are worth some money. So he's contemplating his turn. I think he's trying to determine how he can get rid of the Deadly Striker instead of just swinging into it, just so he can get the damage in with a Gideon. Again, he's a newer player, so sometimes it's quite alright to take that time to think about what you're going to do here. So he goes and plays a Blazing Shreever, which is a fine card. It's a 2/1/3. It costs 3, and then it has an ability. You can pay 2 to destroy it, and then you pick a location or a character, and then you do X damage to that location or character, where X is equal to the amount of rage that you actually control. So he had, I believe he had 4 damage out. He had 2 from the Crest of Rage, and then I believe he's played 2 rage, and then the rest are face down. He might have 3 rage down. I'll have to work on the camera angle for next tournament, because it's just this far side right next to the camera is definitely cut off, and so it makes it kind of hard to see, which is sad. So I just play a resource and end my turn. That's about it. So my turns are not very exciting for a while. I'm just, like I said, I'm digging for answers. I do find some answers, so the game does get a little bit more exciting. But these first few turns, they're not super exciting. So his turn, I believe he drew a card per turn. I wasn't paying attention, I missed it. And he plays an elitism card. And I said, I believe this is now that I think about it, I think this is the only elitism card that I actually saw. And it is an elf that I forget the name of. It's a 1/3/3. You can deplete it to pick a character and restore that character, but that character can't attack again this turn. So you can't like attack with Gideon. You restore Gideon and attack Gideon again. And then he also has another ability that if you have 3 elitism threshold, you can actually pay 3 and restore the elf, so that you can continually restore a bunch of other characters you have, for a cost of 3, which is pretty handy. He plays an Assimilation Center, which is a location, and you can pay 1, deplete it, search your deck for a character, and put it on top of your deck. It's kind of like a Crest of Rage that you can guarantee to use anytime you want. Okay, so this turn he attacked with Gideon, and I played a Forget, trying to bounce the Gideon to his hand, and then Forget costs 5. You put a character in his hand, then you look at your opponent's hand, and you make them discard a card. But he had a Blazing Zero in his hand to do it, so so Blazing Zero costs 1, and it terminates the tactic, but it puts the tactic face down as a resource. So I got a resource out of it. So still in response to Gideon, well, not in response, but still before damage has been assigned by Gideon during the tactical window you have, I go ahead and play a All-Nighter, which costs 4, and you can restore 9 resources. So I go ahead and just restore all that, and then I play a Dark Awakening, picking the Deadly Striker. So it's fine, so Deadly Striker comes into play, and I block the Gideon. He has no block, so he loses 4 from that, so he goes down to 17. And again, even with all that card playing, I still have 3 resources open so I can draw another card. So the Dark Awakening, or yeah, that one Deadly Striker, thanks to Dark Awakening, is able to get in 8 points of damage this one turn, so that is very beneficial. Oh, I'm sorry, it was last turn that he killed it. Yeah, and then this turn, I forget. All these games ran together for so long. So my turn, I play another resource. Like I said, I just keep developing my resource base because I know that for me, I just want to keep drawing cards. So I keep playing resources. I keep drawing more cards because I know I still have several turns before I really have to start worrying about just really digging deep. So I pay 3 and I top deck a Stuttershy, which is excellent because Stuttershy is one of the combo pieces I want with my defalcating machine. So I just pay the 1, I play the Stuttershy. Again, Stuttershy will gladly block a Gideon, and protect my influence for at least a turn. And even if he destroys the Stuttershy, then I'll make a Micromajig, which will also block a Gideon to protect my my influence points per turn. He uses his Assimilation Center and searches for an Adriel. And then he didn't shuffle his deck after he searched, which he's supposed to, but again, he was a new player and he doesn't really know. Most of the cards did do anyway, kind of thing. He kept reading a lot of cards. So I wasn't really too worried about it because he would have known what to stack or anything or remember what cards did anyway. So Adriel costs 2. It's a 3/3/3. And Adriel is kind of the opposite of Gideon in that Gideon is whenever it's attacking, all damage is reduced to 0. Adriel is whenever it's blocking, all damage is reduced to 0. Yep, so I go ahead and block with Stuttershy. Stuttershy dies. He gains an influence, so goes back to 18. I get a Micromajig token. And then here's where he actually tries to use the elf to restore Gideon and then attack with Gideon again. And that's when I point out the rules technically. No, it doesn't work because the card specifically says that character cannot attack this turn. So I let him go back and undo it. If the card did not say that this character cannot attack this turn, or that character cannot attack this turn, then yes, that would completely work. If you have a way to restore one of your characters and there's no stipulation that they cannot attack, then they can attack as many times as they want as long as you can keep restoring it. So that is because there is no single combat phase. It's just if you have a character that's restored and it's been in place since the start of your turn, then it's eligible for attacking. So that's definitely one of the larger differences between Spoils combat and other card games combat. It also involves a lot more combat math typically, just because there are so many more combat options of do I attack in a party, how can they block and all that good stuff. So I pay 3 and I play my Micromajig Master. I get 2 Micromajig tokens, so that way I'll be able to, now I have 3, so I can use his ability, which is sacrifice 3 Micromajigs to search your deck for any card. And now I go and play my defalcating machine, which he knows about the combo, because we kind of talked to people about it, because he didn't want to just, take new players by surprise. So in response to me playing the defalcating machine, he plays a Noble Sacrifice, picking his elf and my Micromajig Master. So in response, I'll go ahead and sacrifice 3 Majigs to the Micromajig Master so that I can search for a card. And then he goes ahead and he said in response to the sacrifice, since the elf is going to die anyway, he went ahead and just tapped it to restore Gideon, and then the elf died. So the Noble Sacrifice was probably a good call. At that point, I don't remember if I had a second Stuttershy in my hand or not, but I already have 1 Stuttershy face down, and so again, the combo is just you want 1 Stuttershy face down and 1 Stuttershy in your hand, and then you just start. So I did have a second Stuttershy, so I start the combo. So I start demonstrating. I play the Stuttershy, and I say, okay, so defalcating machine. Let me go over that card. Defalcating is an item, and it says whenever a player plays a character, they have to choose one of these 3 options. One option is to destroy the character you played, which is what I do. So when I play the Stuttershy, I choose to destroy the Stuttershy. Stuttershy has a replacement effect that says, when this character is destroyed, flip it face down as a resource. And then your opponent gains an influence and you put a Micromajig token into play. So Stuttershy, I play it, I destroy it to the defalcating machine, it becomes a resource, and it creates a Micromajig token. When the Micromajig token comes into play, that is also a character. It comes into play underneath my control, and so it triggers the defalcating machine. So now that Micromajig enters play, I have to do one of the three things. So I choose to pick up a resource, and in this case, I pick up the Stuttershy that I used to pay for the original Stuttershy back to my hand. So then I use the new Stuttershy face down as the new resource, and I use that to pay for the Stuttershy in my hand. Stuttershy comes into play, I destroy it, it goes down, I make a Micromajig token, and then I go ahead and pick up the other Stuttershy that I just used. And I can cycle this as many times as I want. Now, the one downside is that with Stuttershy, your opponent gains that much influence. So I do it 3 times when I demonstrate the combo, and then I say, okay, I'm going to do it 17 more times for a total of 20. So I'll have 20 Micromajigs out. He didn't have any response, so he goes to 38 influence. But again, this deck is a combo deck, so it doesn't worry about giving your opponent too much influence. It's not a big deal, because again, now that I have 20 Micromajigs, if you can clear the field, whatever, you can just start swinging with Micromajigs and stuff like that to just kind of whittle them down over several turns. Or this deck can also go for the combo, which is just do unlimited amount of damage to them in a single turn. Yeah, so I'm talking about just start attacking things. It'll be great. And I don't know if his deck played any board wipes. Gearsmith doesn't really have board wipes. Warlord does have a few in the form of some Saruns. There's a couple different ones where whenever they come into play, you can do 1 damage to all creatures or all creatures your opponents control. So they have stuff like that. But like I said, I don't know what his deck runs, if it runs any of that. So I just ended my turn after 20. So now he's looking through his hand like, how do I deal? Because even during that, he's like, okay, I can deal with these one at a time. But he said, he was asking, it's like, do I have board wipes? And I told him I didn't know the deck, but yeah. So he's just looking for, he's just trying to figure out how can he deal with these 20 Micromajigs. Again, they're all just 1/1/3s, but when you have 20 of them hitting you every turn, even at 1 point at a time, that adds up really fast. So like I said, I'm trying to remember, I think he draws a few cards trying to look for answers. I'm trying to remember what it is, because I don't think that's what it is. He pays, okay, so it wasn't drawing cards. He pays 6 and he plays his Micromajig shipping container, which is a 4/5/3. When it's destroyed, you make 5 Micromajigs. So I point out to him that, okay, when you play this, this defalcating machine happens, so it's like you have to do one of these things. And so he was asking about, he's like, Micromajigs happen too? I'm like, yeah, even Micromajigs trigger that. I'm like, that's how that combo happened, and he's like, okay. So he chooses to lose the 3 influence. Oh, that was the third option I think I mentioned. The third option was, so the options were destroy the character, return a resource to your hand, or your faction loses 3 influence. So he chooses to lose the 3 influence because he just went to 38. So I mean, while 38 seems like a lot, when there's 20 Micromajigs, it's not a lot. But if you bounce too many resources, you can get behind. And like in my instance, bouncing resources isn't a big deal because that's part of my combo, and just like I want that card back in my hand. So I just pay 3 to draw a card, and I have the 1 open because I believe I have an ABZ in my hand for just some sort of shenanigans that they might try to pull. ABZ is a Blazing Zero, which will terminate a tactic. So start of my turn, I play another resource. Again, always playing resources. Got to keep that ramp up. So I'm paying 2 to play Dark Awakening, picking my Micromajig Master, which is very important. So I play the Micromajig Master. It's a 1/1/3 character. When it comes into play, it creates 2 Micromajigs. So for and all 3 of those will trigger the defalcating machine. So for the Micromajig Master, I pick up one of those resources I just used to my hand, I think I wanted to get like the Forget or something back in my hand in case, and I actually choose to destroy those 2 micromajigs I just played, or that I just created, because I didn't really need more micromajigs, and I didn't really have it, because I would actually lose 4 influence for each one if I chose that option because of his Gideon, and I didn't want to pick up any of those other resources because I'm trying to accelerate it, and I need them for comboing purposes. And like I said, I already had 20 microjigs, so I did not need those 2 more microjigs. I just destroyed them. And at this point, I'm trying to remember. So I believe I'm just counting resources because I think I have some of the other combo pieces in my hand now, like the because that's the one combo. That's just the making unlimited micromajigs combos is 2 stutter shy with a defalcating machine. That just makes you unlimited micromajigs. Yeah, it can make you unlimited. Whenever you want to stop the meeting, stop. But it also gives your opponent that much life. So typically whenever I'm doing it just for that, I'll usually only do it like in a batch of like 20 or 30 kind of micromajigs, because that way if they do have a board, because you could choose some crazy number like 1,000, which is great. But if they do have a board wipe, now you're stuck trying to whittle down 1,000 life, which probably isn't going to happen. Or if you choose a number like 20 or 30, 20 or 30 is usually more than enough to kind of multi-block whatever, or block in a party whatever characters they're attacking you with, or attack in large enough parties to get through things or make them lose characters. While still, if they do board wipe, like he went to 38, because I made 20 majigs. If he did board wipe, 38 is still not an impossible number to go through, to run him out of. Like I said, if you choose a crazy number like 1,000, it's pretty much like you're not going to win at that point, unless you can combo off. So I try to be conservative with my micromajig creation. So I attack for 3, he doesn't block, so he loses 2. I attack for 3 more, he decides to block it. After we damage a sign, I just go and stack 3 to search my deck for a card. And again, that's where I've mentioned previous times, is that when you have character advantage, you can start attacking in these various parties. I could have attacked just 1 at a time and lost some, but because I had the Micromajig Master and I knew I wanted to search my deck for some cards, I'm attacking with him 3 at a time. So that way, if he does block, then I just sacrifice all 3 of those. Because if I attacked with 1 and he blocked that 1, I would want to sacrifice that 1 plus 2 untapped ones, essentially, to search for cards, because I wouldn't want to just waste 1 Micromajig. So attacking in a party of 3, it is great, because if he blocks, or if he doesn't block, then he takes 3 damage. If he does block, then I'm just going to sacrifice those 3 to search for a card anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So, like I said, so I attack, he blocked with the shipping container, I attack again, he blocked with the Adriel, so I sacked those 3, and then I attacked for, he didn't take the next 3 I attacked with, so he went down to 29, I attacked with 3 more, he doesn't take that, he goes to 26, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go and sacrifice all 9 of these in here that I have to just go and search for 3 more cards now. And then I start searching, and I think in this searching process I go ahead and I get, like that was enough I got the combo pieces I need, so I go ahead and just count the cards remaining in my deck. Since I now have, he used all of his resources last turn. Like, he used all 6 to play his shipping container, so he doesn't have any resources open. I don't really have to worry about anything except for maybe a face down Noble Sacrifice. But if he had one, he would have used it already. So I'm not too worried about it. So I count the cards in my deck. It came out to like 49 cards. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do the Stutter Shy. So I go and show him, like, I'm going to do the Stutter Shy combo again. I'm going to pick this up. I'm going to create it. And I tell him there's 49 cards left, so I'm going to do it a total of 150 times. And and then I'm going to sacrifice all 150 to search my deck for 50 cards. And he's like, okay, that's fine. So he gains 150 influence, because each time I do that, each time I make a Micromajig token, he gains an influence. So I made 150 Micromajig tokens, he gains 150 influence. He goes to 177 influence, which, again, previously when I was saying I don't want to give him too much, in this instance, because he does have all of his resources attached, and me being able to search for those few cards I needed, I got the rest of the combo pieces I need for my my infinite damage combo. So I just go for it. I'm like, okay, I can win this game now. So the first card I play is the Siege Machine. I actually used it in the round 2 to finish off my opponent. Siege Machine is that you pay 2, you destroy a resource, and your opponent's faction loses 1 influence. So that is now my hand there. I have the entire deck in my hand. That's another big difference between Sports and some other card games, is that there is no max hand size in this game. So if you can draw your whole deck, then you just have your whole deck in your hand the entire time. So I go ahead and I pay 2 for a Toxic Cultivator. It is a 1/1/3, and it has the rules text of, while you control an even number of characters, you reduce the numeric cost of tactics you play by 1 to a minimum of 1. So I count up the number of characters I have, which I believe I had 7 of them out. So when I played this one Toxic Cultivator, it put me at 8. So all of my numeric costs are reduced, or all my tactical numerical costs are reduced by 1 for the tactics. And so I'm looking, and I'm still trying to calculate, because this is still a newer kind of deck. Like, this is one of the first revisions of it, really, that I built. I haven't tooled around with it too much. Like I said, I'm sure it can be built better. But I go ahead and I play 2 more, so it puts me at 10 characters. So I still have an even number of characters, and so each one of those have the rules text of, if you control an even number of characters, reduce the numerical cost by 1 to a minimum of 1. So I show them. Then I play an all-nighter. And I'm like, okay, since each one of these, it reduces the numerical cost of all-nighter from 4 to 1. So I pay 1 for all-nighter, and I get to restore 9 resources now. So I just netted 8 resources, which is fantastic. So he was telling me, it's like, man, if I had another turn, it's like I have the Epic Smackdown thing, like I could start, because Epic Smackdown with like Micro Majig shipping container and some other stuff like that, can be handy, because you can make your opponent sacrifice things, and then you get more tokens. And then he was also talking about if he had used the Noble Sacrifice the turn before. It's like, if I had it this turn, he said, like, well, you kind of had to, because if he hadn't used it last turn, I might have been able to combo off as well. I don't remember. So I go ahead and I tell him, okay, I can combo this out and I can win. And so he's like, okay, just show the combo. So I paid 2 to use Siege Machine. I destroy a resource. I destroyed the face down blow up that I had. And I said, so we went to 176. Now I'm playing this, that, or the other thing. It's a new card from Shade. It normally costs 5. For me, it costs 2. You pick 3 tactics in your discard pile. You put one of them face down. I put blow up face down. You put one of them in your deck. I put Dark Awakening in my deck. And then you put one of them into your hand. I put All-Nighter into my hand. So I went in and paid 3 to draw. I don't think I needed to. Like, I'm still kind of new to this combo. I didn't actually make this combo with this Infinite Siege Machine Toxic Cultivator combo. This actually came from a Swedish player named Hampus, who people may remember from the research investment article he wrote for the Spoils webpage once. So that lets me. Then I can. Essentially, what the combo does is that with blow up is that I pay 2 to the Siege Machine. I sacrifice blow up. I can do that any number of times I want, and then I can play the All-Nighter to restore all my resources, and then I can play the Dark Awakening, picking the this, that, or the other thing, to pick the All-Nighter in my discard pile that I just destroyed, put it face down. I'm sorry, the blow up in my discard pile, put it face down, that I just destroyed, the All-Nighter that I just played, put back in my hand, and then the Dark Awakening, the other Dark Awakening that's in my discard pile already, into my deck. Now remember, I drew my entire deck, so my deck has no cards in it. So that Dark Awakening is the only card in my deck. And then part of the other Dark Awakening that I just played is, at the end, is to draw cards. So now I just draw the Dark Awakening from my deck. And now that I've done that, I go ahead and I pay 2, and I destroy the blow up that I just put face down, and then I go ahead and just play All-Nighter to restore my resources, and then I play Dark Awakening in my hand, picking this, that, or the other thing. I play the this, that, or the other thing, putting the blow up face down again, putting the All-Nighter back into my hand, and putting the Dark Awakening back into my deck, and then I draw the Dark Awakening from the other Dark Awakening. And so I show him this combo with these pieces, and I'm like, this is what I continually do, and I can do this 1 point at a time, so I can infinitely do it, 175 times. So and he says, okay, good game. Says, because he's seen the combo, and there's nothing he can do because he didn't have any research. So he shows me his hand, But yeah, so that is the combo. Like this deck is actually like two-part combo. One part is the infinite Micromajigs, so you can draw out your deck, and then you go and do this Siege Machine infinite combo with this, that, and the other thing, and Toxic Cultivators. Which again, like I said, I didn't come up with that one. That came from a Swedish player. So you can thank the Swedes for that, for those that hate the infinite combos. So yeah, that was round 3, and this is the only match that I actually got the full combo off. So it was cool that I actually did get the combo off once on camera. Thanks for watching. That was round 3.